Hey chefs, it's Jamie. Welcome back to the podcast. Today I wanted to talk about goal setting because I believe it to be important for not just setting a goal and something to do at the beginning of the year, but really like define the goals of your business so you know where it is heading and how you make your business align with those goals. So if your goals are to help busy mums get meals on the table effortlessly, then helping busy professionals or people looking to accommodate macro counts are not as part of that goal, then you leave them out, because when you've got your defined goal, you stick to it and you're going to get your destination quicker. If you start going off the track, then you're going to slow yourself down. So when you're first getting started, this can be incredibly difficult because when I first started, I would have one client and then I would have another client come in and then lose the first one. So I never really got momentum, and because of that, I never really had the financial ability, kind of like the income, to not take on that client that didn't align with my goals. At the beginning, I didn't actually have those goals because I didn't see the importance of them at the very beginning. It was more like, I don't know, the goal was make money and that was the only goal. But once you start to get further ahead, then you're going to have a goal as a target. So maybe that would be 100,000 or 200,000 income, whatever it might be. But what happens then is you can actually, let's say you've got to November and you're on 90 grand and you need to get to 100 grand by the end of the year, then you actually have that goal to push forward to in that final month, and it's actually a target to hit. And why it's important is not only because it helps you keep aligned with your overall vision of the company, because the vision of the company should also be aligned with the goals. But it also, if you can have like a process goal and the primary goal. So the primary goal would be, I'm going to make the 100K, but what are the micro goals to help you hit the primary goal? So rather than just having a massive goal, you break it down into, say, 7 or 10 steps before you get to that goal. So if it is, okay, I need to hit 100 grand, then you can basically like knock it down to, I need to make 8,000 per month. And then what do I need to do to achieve that 8,000 per month to be able to get to the primary goal at the end of the year? And when you hit those micro goals, then you get a dopamine hit, which then helps you stick to the goal, helps you move forward and stay on track. So you pretty much think about jumping in the car with your without a GPS, and it's going to take you a lot longer than pumping into Google where you want to go. So really do, like, if you can write them down to define them and make them like juicy, as in, if this year you're hitting 50 grand and you know that you're going to hit 50 grand this year, then don't set your goal for 60. Really push it, because I kind of believe that if you're chasing that juicy goal, even if you fail, at least you're going to, at least if you fail, you're going to get further ahead than if you are just getting a goal that's easily achievable. Because what will happen is, or what happened to me is, I think it was in my second year of business, it was like, okay, I'm going to set the goal for 200K. And in the end, I didn't get there. It was 200K in revenue, and I didn't get there. And I fell pretty short. I think I got to like a 120 or 130. But if I hadn't set the juicy goal and I just set what I'd done in the previous year, I would have probably put 100 grand, and then I would have only got to maybe 50 or 60. So by having, you don't want it to be too ridiculous where it's so far-fetched that you're never going to achieve it, because then you're not even going to try to stick to it. So it has to be like a realistic goal, but you have to make it juicy, and you have to be a little bit hungry for it, and it has to be something that you really want and you really want to achieve. Whether that's financial, I'm just putting out financial goals primarily because a lot of us are just on the starting block. So it's just like, oh, I need to get enough money in to make this be a business. But once you've actually set or got your foundation of your clients where you're like, okay, I'm comfortable with the money, not necessarily the income that you want to earn, but you've got your bills paid and you've got everything covered where you can live okay. So you can then put money back into the business to then like move the business forward to achieve what you set out to achieve. So grab a pen and paper, start writing the goals down, define each step of the goal, make it realistic, and like over a period of time you will see the difference. And if you can align them with your business, where it's actually like you're setting that goals, whether that's like I've said it's monthly, but ideally you want to be looking at like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And if you're behind on Q1, the first quarter, then you can like now we're into the second quarter, then hopefully like coming into summer you can pick up that revenue that maybe you haven't got in the first quarter, so you can just stay on track. Looking at it like that is much better than if you say, okay, I want to make $8,000 a month, because January generally is going to be, unless you've got people on meal prep that are like looking for their weight loss or a healthier start to the year, then you generally are pretty quiet for January, February, especially if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with it being summer. And then with playing catch up in Q2, we're obviously coming into summer, so then you can really like drive bookings with people doing small events, get-togethers, barbecues, people wanting to lose weight so they can look better, going to the beach for the summer. So this period is a real period where you can get people in for your meal prep on wanting people like wanting to be healthier for the summer, and then you keep those people into the summer, and then obviously you change the focus and then try and keep those people again, but almost like don't drop off on the winter. You know, keep yourself looking healthy, keep yourself fit and looking good. And then there's obviously, it depends on how you are looking at your business, because that could be the same for the people that are doing macro counters, but during the winter, then maybe they're just maintaining rather than bulking or shredding. So depending on what period of the year you are at, think about your business differently and how the goals can align with that. Because I see a lot of dog is grumbling. I see a lot of chefs are literally just saying, I can cook for you, but they're not defining the goal for that client. And when you define the goal, like that could be you want to look better on the beach again, you know, think about their goals and how your goals can align with their goals, and you're going to have a much more defined route to where you want to get to. So it is super important. I can't stress it enough how important this is. So I'm going to leave that with you, and I hope that you can get some good, fat, juicy goals, and we can start crushing those in Q2. All right, I will catch you next week.